Hi, my name is Joanne from 123stitch.com. I found this beautiful bookmark design by Sweet Wing Studio called Christmas Tapestry. I just fell in love with it and had to make it. I stitched it on a 28 count Lugana, and the pattern didn't have any finishing instructions. So I looked online, found tons of things on finishing bookmarks made on Aida, but not a whole lot on linen or evenweave. So I tried all kinds of different things, spent a lot of time going through different methods, trying to come up with just the perfect thing. I did finally settle on a method that I absolutely loved. I think it turned out great, and it's super easy to do. So I'm going to show you today how to finish a bookmark. Before we get started though, please go down below and click on that subscribe button so you don't miss out on a thing. Let's get started. Okay, let's talk about the supplies we need to complete our bookmark. Obviously, we need our bookmark all stitched and ready to go. We need some backing fabric. For this piece, I've chosen some wool felt in the color Crimson. I like felt because it's not too lightweight. It's nice and medium weight. It doesn't fray. I don't have to finish the edges. And it matches perfectly with this design. This is by Moda and it's the color Crimson. By the way, everything that I mentioned today will be listed as a link in the description below. We will need some scissors. We'll need some Pellon 808 craft fuse. This is a fairly heavyweight fusible interfacing that's perfect for bookmarks because it can give it that extra weight. You don't want to put like a piece of cardboard or something in the bookmark because it's just too thick and it kind of damages a book. But this is going to give us just enough body. We're actually going to use 2 layers of this on our bookmark. We'll need some double-sided acid-free mounting tape. To go along with that, I like to have a stiletto. That helps to get that paper off of the tape. A fabric marker will be useful. I have from Colonial a 2-way removable fabric marker. The purple side comes off with air, comes out over time just with air, or you can put water on it, and then this one comes off with water. And then optional, you might want some trim or lace to finish off your bookmark on the ends. Let's first talk about the size. What I did is I took the design width and then I decided I want like 1/8 of an inch extra all around my design. So that is the size that I cut my interfacing. I actually cut 2 pieces of interfacing that size. I ironed the first one down and then I ironed the other one right on top of it. And you just follow the manufacturer's directions, but basically you just do a hot iron on it. Without going back and forth, just press. Obviously, also make sure your piece is straight before you put any interfacing on it. So now you can tell it's a nice heavyweight bookmark. It's going to be perfect. I'm not going to cut my backing fabric right now. I'm going to save that till the end. In theory, it should be the same size as my interfacing, but I have found that it pays to wait until you're done just to make sure you get the absolute right size. Now, we're going to start with the mounting tape, and I have pre-cut a few pieces because mine does not tear by hand, so I want to make sure I have the tape when I'm ready to go. And we're going to start at the top. Let me zoom in just a tiny bit here, not too much. We're going to start right at the top, and we're going to fold the fabric right to the interfacing line. I'm going to look on the front to make sure it looks straight, and then I'm going to put a piece of tape down. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Let's see what that looks like. That looks even. Put that down. And then we can start the sides. And I'm actually going to go ahead and take the tape off of these. Take the backing off of these. So we have more sticky to work with. Sometimes this comes off right away. Other times it's a little fussier. You can kind of score it, and sometimes that helps. All right, come on. No, this one's not wanting to come off. Try again. There we go. So it's leaving behind tape. You can see that it's shiny, so it's sticky. Let's see if we have better luck with this one. Go. All right, now we're going to turn in the corners, and I want to make sure that I get the corners sharp, but I don't want to have the frayed end sticking out at all. So I have a piece of tape handy here. I'm going to start in a corner and just turn that in nice and tight. Look on the other side to make sure it looks even, and then go right up to the corner there and get that tape in place. The corners are the hardest part, so we want to make sure we get those right and they look straight. That looks good. Okay, let's do this one. You could leave longer borders, but I like just about 1/4 of an inch all around because I don't want to have too much bulk, especially in the corners here. So I trimmed it just like 1/4 of an inch beyond. There you go, that looks good. Let's try these two. I need a couple more pieces of tape. Okay. See that is sticking out a little bit, so I'm going to get a little closer. Remember, the white paper is not going to show on the other side, so you can get right up to the edge. That looks good. The corners here are the hardest part of this whole thing, and then the rest is easy. I tried different ways, turning the corners in first, but this, just the straight fold seems to work best. But you do whatever works for you. As long as you get those nice, neat corners in there, it doesn't matter too much. There we go. Corners are straight. All right, I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to peel these off. Sometimes it peels right off, and other times it's a little fussier. And people say you can try scoring it. I've tried it all. Persistence works best. This one off. And this stuff's pretty sticky, so you're going to have to be careful now working. What we're going to do is finish tacking the back side down, tacking the stitch piece down. Then we're going to cut our backing and put it on, and then we're going to be done. So not a lot involved. That off. Get this one off. Okay. Now we're going to get a little bit on the, we're going to catch these pieces here. Make sure it looks straight before you put it all the way down. There we go, that's good. And let's get this one on. That looks straight. Okay, now I'm going to peel these off. All right, the stiletto helps hold it too so that you don't get it stuck to your fingers. All right, now I've got tape almost everywhere. I've got some excess tape here that I'm going to cut off. Go. All right, the middle doesn't have any tape on it, so I'm going to take a piece of this wider tape and just put tape down the center. Now you can use the narrower tape if that's all you have. Just might need a couple pieces of it. But we want to make sure the whole thing has tape on it. You especially want to make sure your corners don't have any frayed fabric sticking out. Put this nice piece down the center. Get the backing off. There we go. Okay, now there's tape through the whole thing. The front looks good, it's straight, nothing sticking out. So now we're going to cut our backing fabric. And to do that, we're going to be careful and keep the sticky side up. Lay it on our fabric. I actually have a small piece here. Lay it on our fabric. Use the marking pen to mark the exact size and cut it out. Now, one additional thing that I'm going to do is, I'm going to put another piece of interfacing on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the exact size for the backing, but for the interfacing, I'm going to be a little bit smaller. I don't want it to go all the way to the edges because I don't want it to show through on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, I've cut out my backing fabric and I cut out interfacing and attached it to the one side. There's no right or wrong side. And see how I made it smaller so that it doesn't go all the way to the edges? That way it's not going to peek out and show over the bookmark edge. Now, I've used felt, doesn't fray. I can cut to the exact size. What if you've chosen some sort of cotton fabric or something that's going to fray? You're going to need to cut a bigger piece of fabric and then put your interfacing the exact size again. And then you're going to need to turn the ends under and tape them down just like we did on the first piece. So it works, but it's easier to use felt. But it's up to you. It's a choice. Now, if you want to add trim, this is the time to do it. You would just stick it right on the tape. And keep in mind that the right side you want to face out. So that's where you would do it. Now, if you do put trim down, if you do put some lace down, make sure you put another piece of tape across the top because we want tape covering the whole thing here. So all that's left is to go ahead and put this on. Line it up. You can move it a little if you have to. But line it up the best you can. Get those ends down, press it in place. And if you want, you can always have some, see, even though I traced it, I've got some sticking out on the edge. I'm going to trim that off. But you could also have it sticking out a little and have a little color on the outside edge. But as this is, I can just trim this off, being careful not to cut my cross stitch piece. And it's done. And my favorite part is that it's actually usable. You know, it's a nice heavyweight design. It's not going to come apart. It's useful as a bookmark. So I really like it. I think it's going to be really nice. I think I'm going to give it as a gift. Maybe I'll keep it for myself. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions, comments, ideas for upcoming videos, please let me know in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. I don't want you to miss anything. And I will see you again soon.